I spent the last 6 months sacrificing the things that I enjoy in order to try to make enough money to buy back time and freedom to do the things that I want to do in the first place. And it has drained my mental health and my physical health, and it's robbed me of my happiness. And a lot of us fall into this trap where we're like chasing after joy when we need to just stop and let it catch up to us. Back when I was in Chicago, I remember reflecting on my life and asking if I was in the right relationship with the right person, if I was in the right career path with the right job, and even if I was living in the right city. And I had this weight, this anxiety on my shoulders that I had to have the world figured out by the time I was 30. It was an uncertainty that drove me mad. And it wasn't until I moved to Nashville and got settled in that I gave myself some grace. I told myself that I didn't have to have the world figured out, and that if I didn't find my person until I was 35 and I didn't have kids until I was 40, yeah, that might not be ideal in my world, but if that's God's plan, then that's God's plan. And once I let go, I had one of the best years, if not the best year of my entire life. I just started doing things because I wanted to do it. I went to Europe just because I could. I, at the last minute, went to Bonnaroo, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. And shortly thereafter, I found the person that I'm going to marry. And life comes at you fast. I felt like I was riding this euphoric wave that was never going to crash. But ironically, it was the certainty of what comes next that put that weight and that anxiety and that stress back on my shoulders. I know that I'm getting married next year. I have a pretty good projection of when I'm going to start trying for kids, when I'm going to start having kids. And I kind of have a projection on where my career is going to go and what's next. That should be exciting, but it's been stressful because instead of it being uncertain, it's almost certain. And now I feel like I have to race to 30 again to make sure that my kids and my family have all the resources at their disposal to give them the opportunities to succeed. And the thing is, that weight is crushing. And it was this week where I had a breakthrough after somewhat of a breakdown where I just gave myself some grace because I couldn't keep living at this pace. I couldn't keep falling asleep with my mind wandering about what the next step is and what's the next thing that I can do. And I'm just draining myself with no joy. I can't sit next to my fiance on the couch or at the dinner table and just be present because my mind is somewhere else. What's the point of living just to be anxious and stressed and die? We're supposed to live, to experience things, to have joy. At what point did we stop trying to do the things that we want to do? We started making money our idol, and it's taken everything from us. I can't imagine how you feel. I'm barely on social media, and I feel like the walls are caving in. And there's so many people out there that are drowning in debt and compare their lives to everyone else's and hear all the noise and all the political stress and all the economic stress. And they think that they should buy a home and there's no way that they can afford it. And it's just, I get it. But what's the point of ruminating on all of the dark things and not trying to inject some light into your life? We always talk about the good old days, and most of the time it's our childhood growing up and we just did whatever we wanted to and we didn't have responsibilities. And I get that now we do. We have jobs, we have families and people to take care of and bills to pay and goals to set. But where's that childlike wonder, that joy of just doing the things that we love? You need to start giving yourself permission to be happy. You need to give yourself some grace. Life is hard, and I know we have responsibilities, but you got to live. That's the point. I mean, I'm about ready to jump out of a plane and skydive just because I can. Just to get that momentum, right? Just start doing the things that are on your bucket list. I don't care if it's traveling or if it's playing a sport or writing a book or playing an instrument, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't have to be your entire life, but it needs to be part of the equation. because a life with no passion and no joy is not a life at all. And we need to start living a life worth living. Otherwise, what is the point? And I know that there's so much doom and gloom out there, and I know that the deck is stacked against us, but just by being a beacon of hope, a beacon of joy, just being somebody who finds time in their life to do the things that they enjoy, to give themselves that grace, to just not feel like you have to be doing the next thing, but you can just sit there and watch a movie with friends or family in peace and just be present. The more joy that we exude, that we express, other people are going to pick up on that. And you want to talk about how to fix the world that we're in? We can't fix the technicalities. We can't fix the economy and all the other BS, but we can fix the mood. We can fix the momentum. We can fix the tone. I don't know about you, but I would rather live a life that actually doesn't suck. I want to live a life that's worth telling to my kids. And I want to be that role model, that example, that no matter what's going on in life, no matter how much stress there is, no matter how much outside noise there is, that you can always find time to do the things that you love, to inject joy into your life. And I think that we need that now more than we ever have. So stop chasing the dragons. Stop making money your idol. Stop working yourself to death and sacrificing the things that actually matter in life. Because the reality is, it can all change tomorrow. We can get diagnosed with cancer or die in a car accident, and that's it. That's the end of the story. I don't have all the answers in life. I'm working through it just like the rest of you. But I do know that you need to give yourself some grace. That you need to have some faith. You need to trust God's plan, and everything will work out, because it always does. You've made it this far. You might as well enjoy it.